Hey there. Welcome to another edition of Socrates Explains Everything. My name is Socrates. I like to explain things. We're down here in Aalsmeer in front of, I think it's the Zwarte Router. I don't know. It's a nice corn molen now. It used to be a water pump. Now it grinds up corn. And people live there. How's everybody doing on this coronavirus? I guess Friday. Lose track of days. Wanted to talk a little bit today about, well, percentages and how to interpret some of these numbers. I've had a few discussions recently in person and online with people that don't seem to get how the percentage of people dying from this disease is more important than the total number. I've been quoted a bunch of numbers that really don't even make sense, and that, again, makes it easy when you use weird numbers. Someone told me that 500,000 people die of flu a year in the U.S., and that's off by a factor of 10. It's about 50,000 die a year out of about 54 million who get the disease, which works out to about 0.1%, or 1 out of every 1,000. Now, coronavirus, on the other hand, is about 1 or even 3%, in some cases higher. That's 1 to 3 out of every 100. That's 10 times more. Now, in the U.S., only 84,000 people have gotten it, but already there's 1,300 deaths or so, which is about 1.5%. So if that many people ended up dying from the disease, the same as numbers got flu, you end up with about 250,000 or 750,000 people, 750,000 dead in the U.S. alone. And the truth is, this is more contagious than the flu. It has an R factor of 2.2 versus 1.3, which means not only is it twice as contagious, that ends up being a ratio, a rate. It's not just a straight doubling. It's essentially an exponential. So a 2.2 compared to 1.3 is a significant number of people, iteration after iteration. So in the end, coronavirus is much deadlier than the flu. The reason it hasn't killed as many people is so far that not that many people have been exposed to it. And that's what we're trying desperately to do. Because the more people that get exposed to it, the more people that die. The U.S. now has more cases than anywhere in the world because of that exponential, essentially a version of doubling. 2 people get 4, those 4 get 8 and 16. It isn't just a small thing, it expands at a huge rate. It's exponential. It's the same reason that you can't have growth forever in an economy. It's why I don't believe in capitalism, because of the exponential curve. It doesn't work forever in an economy, but it can work for a long time, especially with diseases like bacteria and virus. That's what they're good at. They double and double and double until they overwhelm. So anyway, trust me when I tell you, the flu is nowhere near as deadly as coronavirus, and will more than likely have its total number of annuals death highly topped by coronavirus, unfortunately. Only because at this point people have not gotten in the way of it. I just read there's a now dead Indian preacher who seemed to have infected hundreds of people, and they had to quarantine 40,000 people because he was a super contagious person, or super carrier, and he just contacted endless numbers of people. So at this point, the U.S. has done a really bad job containing it. A lot of the churches and the Republican people have decided this isn't real, so they're going to ignore it, and it's going to, 2 weeks will show. But I wish that they were right, that it's not as bad as the flu. But unfortunately, science does a really good job of predicting some stuff. So anyway, take this thing real. It's serious, and serious as a windmill.